Gentlemen, have you ever pulled back from a woman? Maybe you were busy, maybe you were applying some Stoic wisdom, maybe you just weren't feeling it anymore, and suddenly her behavior changes? She starts texting more, liking all your posts, or maybe she acts completely indifferent. It's not always what you'd expect. In fact, her reaction can be incredibly revealing. It can tell you a lot about her true feelings, her insecurities, and where you really stand in the dynamic. More importantly, understanding her reaction can give you a significant advantage in navigating the complexities of relationships. Today on Stoic Spirit, we're diving deep into the female psyche, exploring the 10 stages of how a woman reacts when she realizes you've lost interest. We'll uncover the psychology behind her actions, decode her hidden signals, and reveal how you can use this understanding, combined with the powerful principles of Stoicism, to build stronger, healthier connections and navigate relationships with greater clarity, confidence, and control. This isn't about playing games or manipulating anyone. It's about mastering your own emotions, understanding human nature, and becoming the most attractive, grounded version of yourself. If you're tired of the dating game roller coaster, of constantly second-guessing yourself, and you're ready to take control of your romantic life, then hit that subscribe button and join the Stoic Spirit community. We're here to equip you with the tools and insights you need to build unshakable confidence and create truly fulfilling relationships. And if you find this video helpful, let me know in the comments below. Your insights and experiences are always valuable. Make sure you stick around until the end, because I've got a special bonus tip that will completely change your perspective on relationships and attraction. Let's get started. 1. The shockwave. Imagine a perfectly still lake, reflecting the clear blue sky, a picture of tranquility and predictability. Then, a pebble drops, disrupting the surface, sending ripples outwards, distorting the reflection. This is often a woman's initial reaction when she senses you pulling away. It's a shockwave, a sudden disruption of the familiar, the comfortable, the unspoken understanding she thought existed between you. It's not just surprise, it's a visceral jolt to her system. She thrives on certainty in relationships. She wants to know where she stands, to feel secure in the connection. Your attention, your pursuit, your consistent presence. These were her anchors, her points of reference. Your withdrawal creates a ripple effect of uncertainty, shaking the foundations of her perceived control. Suddenly, the clear reflection of the relationship becomes distorted. She's no longer sure of her place in your world, of your level of interest. This unsettles her deeply. The familiar ground beneath her feet feels shaky. The unspoken rules of the game have changed, and she's scrambling to understand the new playing field. She questions everything: her perceptions, her interpretations of your past interactions, the very foundation of the connection. Did she misread your signals? Did she overestimate your interest? Was it something she said or did? The questions swirl in her mind, creating a vortex of confusion and self-doubt. This self-doubt is often amplified by societal conditioning. Women are often taught to seek external validation, to measure their worth through the lens of male attention. Your withdrawal triggers these deeply ingrained insecurities, making her question not only the relationship, but also her own value. Stoic takeaway. This initial reaction is rarely about you. It's about her internal struggle with uncertainty and the loss of control. It's a reflection of her own emotional landscape, her insecurities, and her attachment style. Resist the urge to jump in and immediately reassure her. This isn't about playing games. It's about allowing her to process her emotions, to confront her insecurities, and to ultimately gain a clearer understanding of her own needs and desires in the relationship. Your calm detachment, your stoic composure will not only prevent you from getting drawn into her emotional whirlwind, but will also amplify your strength and self-assuredness, making you even more attractive. Let her navigate the shockwave on her own. It's the first step in her journey of self-discovery, and potentially the first step towards a more authentic and balanced connection between you. 2. The validation vacuum. A vacuum sucks, literally. It pulls everything towards its center, trying to fill the empty space. And just like nature abhors a vacuum, so does the female ego. When you pull back, when your attention and validation decrease, it creates a void in her emotional landscape. She'll instinctively try to fill that void, to reclaim the attention she's lost, to reassert her influence. This isn't necessarily about manipulation. It's a primal instinct, a deep-seated need for reassurance. She's seeking confirmation that she still matters, that she still holds a place of significance in your world. This is where the games begin, often subconsciously. Watch for the subtle tests, the seemingly innocent probes designed to gauge your level of interest. The casual text, "Hey, how have you been?" The seemingly innocuous question, "What are you up to this weekend?" The sudden re-engagement on social media, liking your posts, commenting on your photos. These aren't always genuine attempts to reconnect. They're often carefully calculated maneuvers to measure your reaction, to assess her influence over you. If these subtle tests fail to elicit the desired response, some women might escalate. They might try to provoke a reaction, mentioning other men, flirting openly, or even feigning complete indifference to your absence. It's a smokescreen, a defense mechanism designed to mask their insecurity and regain a sense of control. They're trying to push your buttons, to make you jealous, to reignite the chase. Stoic takeaway: don't fall for the bait. This is where your Stoic training comes into play. Stay calm. Don't over-explain. Don't react emotionally. Your composure, your ability to remain grounded amidst her emotional turbulence is your greatest power. It shows that you're not easily swayed, that your worth doesn't depend on her validation, that you're in control of your own emotions. This isn't about playing games or being cold. It's about maintaining your center, refusing to be drawn into her drama. Your calm detachment is the most effective response. It disrupts her strategy, forces her to reevaluate her approach, and makes her wonder, why isn't he reacting the way I expected? This unexpected response is far more intriguing, far more attractive than any amount of pleading or chasing. Your composure is the key to reclaiming your power in the dynamic. It creates space for authentic connection, free from the games and manipulations that often sabotage relationships. 3. The Curiosity Conundrum. The shock has worn off. The initial attempts to regain your attention have fallen flat, and now a new emotion takes center stage: curiosity. This isn't the casual kind of curiosity. This is a deep, almost obsessive need to understand why. Why did you pull back? What changed? What did she miss? Her mind becomes a detective, meticulously analyzing every detail of your past interactions, searching for clues, for hidden meanings, for any indication of what went wrong. She replays conversations in her head, scrutinizes old text messages, re-examines your social media posts, anything to piece together the puzzle of your changing behavior. She's not just trying to understand you, she's trying to understand herself, her role in the dynamic, and the potential consequences of her actions. This introspection, though often driven by anxiety, can be a powerful tool for self-discovery. It forces her to reevaluate you, the relationship, and her own behavior. The rose-tinted glasses come off, and she starts to see things more clearly. Your positive qualities, the things she might have taken for granted, your kindness, your sense of humor, your stability, suddenly become amplified in their absence. Your silence becomes a blank canvas onto which she projects her idealized version of you. This isn't about you intentionally trying to manipulate her. It's a natural consequence of scarcity. When something is readily available, it's easy to overlook its value. But when it becomes scarce, its value increases exponentially. Your absence creates a void, a space for her to appreciate what she might have been missing. Stoic takeaway. This is where your Stoic patience pays off. Resist the urge to jump in and explain yourself. Let her curiosity work its magic. Your silence provides the space she needs for self-reflection. It allows her to confront her own insecurities, her own contributions to the dynamic, and to ultimately arrive at her own conclusions. This process can be uncomfortable for her, but it's essential for growth. It's an opportunity for her to gain a deeper understanding of herself, her needs, and what she truly values in a relationship. Your silence becomes a catalyst for her self-discovery, a powerful tool for transformation. It allows her to see not only your value, but her own as well. And that newfound self-awareness is the foundation for a stronger, more authentic connection, should you choose to rebuild it. 4. The ego echo. The female ego, like a delicate porcelain doll, can be easily bruised, especially when it comes to matters of the heart. She might have initially enjoyed the chase, the feeling of having the upper hand, the subtle power dynamic of your pursuit. Your attention, your eagerness to please, validated her sense of worth, reinforced her belief in her own desirability. But your sudden withdrawal throws a wrench in the works. It challenges her perception of control, creating a crack in the polished surface of her ego. This isn't just about romantic rejection. It's about a perceived loss of power, a challenge to her self-worth. The unspoken question lingers. If he's not interested, what does that say about me? This question can trigger a cascade of insecurities, doubts, and anxieties. As a result, she might act out. The bruised ego lashes out, seeking to regain control, to reassert its dominance. She might become defensive, arguing about insignificant details, picking fights, or trying to shift the blame onto you. She might try to make you jealous, flirting with other men, posting provocative photos on social media, or casually mentioning dates she doesn't actually have. These actions aren't necessarily malicious. They're often a mask, a defense mechanism designed to protect her fragile ego from the sting of rejection. She might even try the "I'm better off without you" routine, proclaiming her newfound freedom and independence, hoping to convince both you and herself that she's unfazed by your withdrawal. It's a performance, a desperate attempt to regain the upper hand, to reclaim the narrative. Stoic takeaway: this is where your stoic strength becomes paramount. Don't react. Don't get drawn into her drama. Don't take her actions personally. Stay grounded in your own self-worth. Recognize that her behavior is a reflection of her insecurity, her bruised ego, not a reflection of your value or desirability. Your calm detachment, your refusal to engage in the drama, is the most effective response. It disarms her, disrupts her strategy, and ultimately forces her to confront her own insecurities. Your composure becomes a mirror, reflecting her own emotional turbulence back to her, prompting her to question the motivations behind her actions. This is not about being cold or indifferent. It's about maintaining your emotional boundaries, protecting your own peace of mind, and allowing her the space she needs to process her emotions and hopefully to learn and grow from the experience. 5. The void's voice. The initial shock and the desperate attempts to reclaim validation have subsided, replaced by a growing sense of emptiness. The silence stretches, expanding like a dark, echoing cavern, and the void you've left behind becomes undeniable. It's a heavy silence, a silence pregnant with unanswered questions, unresolved emotions, and the creeping realization of what might have been lost. She feels your absence acutely. It's not just the lack of texts, calls, or dates. It's the absence of your energy, your attention, your consistent presence in her life. The little things she once took for granted, the good morning texts, the inside jokes, the way you always knew how to make her laugh, now resonate with a painful clarity. The void amplifies these memories, making them seem larger than life, more precious, more significant than she ever realized. It's like waking up one morning and realizing the background music of your life has been switched off. The silence is deafening, highlighting the absence of the melody that once filled your days. She might try to distract herself, to fill the void with other activities, other people, but the emptiness persists, a constant reminder of what's missing. This void isn't just emotional, it's psychological. It disrupts her routine, her sense of normalcy, her expectations of how relationships should be. She's forced to confront the consequences of her actions, the possibility that her own behavior, her complacency, her dismissiveness, her failure to appreciate your efforts, contributed to your withdrawal. Stoic takeaway: this is a crucial stage. Resist the urge to rescue her, to fill the void with your presence. Let her feel it. The void is a powerful teacher. It forces her to confront her own role in the dynamic, to acknowledge her own contributions to the situation, and to ultimately gain a deeper understanding of what she truly values in a relationship. Your silence, though difficult for both of you, is essential for her growth. It allows her to reflect, to reevaluate, to reconnect with her own needs and desires. It's an opportunity for her to learn from the experience, to grow stronger, and to become more aware of her own patterns in relationships. The void, though painful, can be a catalyst for transformation, a stepping stone towards a more authentic and fulfilling connection with herself and, potentially, with you. Allow the silence to speak, and trust that the void's voice will guide her towards greater self-awareness and a deeper understanding of what truly matters. 6. Silence speaks. In a world obsessed with constant communication, with endless notifications and the pressure to always be available, silence has become a rare and precious commodity. And in the context of a relationship, especially one where the dynamics have shifted, silence can speak volumes. It's a powerful communication tool, often conveying more than words ever could. Your silence isn't about ignoring her, punishing her, or playing games. It's about creating space both for her and for yourself. It's about giving her the opportunity to reflect on the relationship, on your role in her life, and on what your absence truly means. It's about allowing the dust to settle, the emotions to subside, and the truth to emerge. This silence often amplifies your value. When you're constantly present, always available, it's easy for someone to take you for granted, to overlook the qualities that make you special. But when you step back, when you create a space, those qualities suddenly become more pronounced, more noticeable, more desirable. It's the principle of scarcity at play. The less available something is, the more valuable it becomes. Your silence also makes a powerful statement about your self-respect. It shows that you're not desperate for her attention, that your worth doesn't depend on her validation. You're not chasing, pleading, or trying to force a connection. You're comfortable in your own skin, secure in your own value, and willing to walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you. Stoic takeaway. This aligns perfectly with Stoic principles. The Stoics understood that true strength lies not in controlling external circumstances, but in mastering our own responses. Your silence is a demonstration of this inner strength. It shows that you're not swayed by her emotions, that you're not seeking her approval, that you're grounded in your own sense of self. Your actions speak louder than words. Your silence communicates confidence, self-respect, and emotional maturity. It's a message that resonates deeply, often bypassing her defenses and reaching the core of her being. It forces her to confront the reality of your absence, the void you've left behind, and the possibility that she might have underestimated your value. This silent message, though initially unsettling, can be a powerful catalyst for change, prompting her to reevaluate the relationship, her own behavior, and ultimately, her perception of you. It's in this silence, this space of reflection, that true transformation can occur. 7. The tension tightens. Imagine a taut rope stretched between 2 points, the tension building with each passing moment, threatening to snap. That's the emotional landscape of a woman who senses you pulling away but doesn't understand why. The unresolved feelings, the unanswered questions, the uncertainty of your intentions, it creates a palpable tension, a constant underlying hum of anxiety that keeps her on edge. She's preoccupied with you, constantly replaying past interactions, analyzing your every word and action, desperately searching for clues to decipher your sudden change in behavior. The silence amplifies her anxieties, making her question everything: her perceptions, her assumptions, the very foundation of the connection. She's in a state of limbo, caught between the hope of rekindling the connection and the fear of rejection. This uncertainty fuels her obsession, keeping you firmly planted in her thoughts. She might try to distract herself, to push you out of her mind, but the tension persists, a constant, nagging reminder of the unresolved dynamic between you. This emotional tension is not necessarily negative. It can be a powerful catalyst for growth and change. It's like the pressure that creates a diamond, the friction that ignites a fire. The tension forces her to confront her own emotions, her own insecurities, her own role in the dynamic. Stoic takeaway. This is where your Stoic patience becomes a superpower. Resist the urge to jump in and alleviate the tension. Let it build. This isn't about playing games or manipulating her emotions. It's about allowing the tension to reach a critical point, a point where she's compelled to take action, to reach out, to seek resolution. Your silence, your detachment becomes the crucible in which her emotions are forged. The longer the tension builds, the more potent the impact of her eventual reach out. It's like pulling back an arrow before releasing it. The further you pull, the greater the force, the more accurate the aim. Your patience is not passivity. It's a strategic move, a demonstration of your Stoic strength and self-control. It allows the tension to work its magic, creating a powerful impetus for her to confront her own emotions, to reevaluate the relationship, and to ultimately make a conscious choice about whether or not she wants to rebuild the connection. And when she finally does reach out, it will be with a greater sense of urgency, a deeper understanding of her own feelings, and a renewed appreciation for your presence in her life. 8. The Bridge of Curiosity. The tension has reached a tipping point. The unanswered questions, the unresolved emotions, the growing void of your absence, it's all become too much to bear. Her curiosity, once a simmering ember, has now ignited into a full-blown flame, driving her to action. She's ready to bridge the gap, to reconnect, to understand why. At first, her attempts might be tentative, almost hesitant. A casual like on your Instagram post, a brief, seemingly innocuous text message, a chance encounter orchestrated with seemingly effortless grace. She's testing the waters, dipping her toes back into the pool of connection, gauging your reaction, assessing the temperature. But as her curiosity intensifies, so do her efforts. The texts become more frequent, the questions more direct, the attempts to re-engage more deliberate. She might suggest grabbing coffee, catching up, or just talking. She's no longer passively observing. She's actively seeking to rebuild the bridge, to understand the reasons behind your withdrawal, and perhaps to rekindle the connection. This is a critical juncture. The way you respond will determine the future trajectory of the relationship. Stoic takeaway. This is not the time to revert to old patterns, to fall back into the trap of seeking her validation or chasing her attention. Respond with measured confidence, not desperation. Maintain a sense of detachment. You're open to connection, but not on her terms anymore. The game has changed, and you're now playing from a position of strength. Your responses should be calm, concise, and slightly detached. Avoid lengthy explanations or emotional outpourings. You're not trying to win her back. You're simply acknowledging her attempts to reconnect while maintaining your own emotional boundaries. This measured approach communicates confidence and self-respect. It shows that you're not desperate for her attention, that your happiness doesn't depend on her validation. This newfound self-assuredness is incredibly attractive. It makes her realize that winning you back won't be as easy as she might have thought, and that, ironically, makes you even more desirable. You're no longer the predictable, readily available man she once knew. You're a challenge, a mystery, a prize worth pursuing. This shift in dynamic, fueled by your Stoic composure, can be the catalyst for a more authentic, more balanced, and ultimately more fulfilling connection. 9. Emotional mastery. Picture a skilled surfer navigating a turbulent ocean. He doesn't fight the waves, he rides them using his skill and balance to harness their power. This is the essence of emotional mastery in relationships, especially when dealing with a woman who's testing your boundaries. She's throwing everything she can at you, the subtle digs, the provocative comments, the attempts to elicit jealousy, hoping to provoke a reaction, to gauge your level of interest, to regain a sense of control. She might bring up past arguments, rehash old wounds, or casually mention other men she's supposedly interested in. She's looking for cracks in your armor, any sign of insecurity, jealousy, or desperation. She's trying to push your buttons, to see if you'll react emotionally, to confirm that she still holds some sway over you. This is a crucial test, and how you respond will determine the future trajectory of the relationship. Stoic takeaway. This is where your Stoic training becomes invaluable. Your emotional control, your calm demeanor, is your greatest asset. It's a demonstration of strength, maturity, and self-assuredness, qualities that are incredibly attractive to women. Don't react to her tests. Don't rise to the bait. Don't allow her provocations to dictate your emotional state. Instead, respond with calm detachment, with a quiet confidence that shows you're not easily swayed by her games. This doesn't mean suppressing your emotions, it means mastering them. It means acknowledging your feelings without allowing them to control your behavior. Your stability is your strength. It creates a sense of security, a safe harbor in the midst of her emotional storm. It shows that you're not intimidated by her tests, that you're not threatened by her attempts to regain control. This unwavering composure is incredibly magnetic. It makes her realize that you're not the same man she thought she knew, that you're no longer playing by her rules. This shift in dynamic can be deeply unsettling for her, but it's also incredibly alluring. Your emotional mastery makes you a challenge, a mystery, a prize worth pursuing. It shows that you're not just another man desperate for her attention. You're a man of substance, a man in control of himself, a man worth her respect. And that, gentlemen, is the ultimate aphrodisiac. 10. The graceful exit or re-entry. The final stage is perhaps the most crucial, the most empowering, and the most stoic, the graceful exit or re-entry. This isn't about dramatic pronouncements, bitter accusations, or desperate pleas for another chance. It's about quietly, confidently, and gracefully moving forward with your life, whether that means walking away completely or re-engaging from a position of strength and self-assuredness. This is where you demonstrate true self-respect. You're prioritizing your own growth, your own happiness, your own well-being, regardless of her reaction. You're no longer tethered to her validation, her approval, or her presence in your life. You're choosing to focus on what truly matters, building a life filled with purpose, passion, and authentic connection. This graceful detachment leaves a lasting impression. It shows her that you're not afraid to walk away from a situation that doesn't serve you, that you value yourself enough to prioritize your own happiness. This self-respect is incredibly magnetic. It's a quality that commands respect and admiration, even from someone who might have initially taken you for granted. If she truly values you, if the connection between you is genuine, she'll realize what she's lost. Your absence will create a void, a space for her to appreciate the qualities she might have overlooked, the contributions you made to her life. This realization might prompt her to reach out, to make amends, to rebuild the bridge. But even if she doesn't, you've already won. Stoic takeaway. This aligns perfectly with the Stoic principle of focusing on what you can control. You can't control her actions, her reactions, or her decisions, but you can control your own response. You can choose to move on with grace, with dignity, with a quiet confidence that comes from knowing your own worth. Your happiness is your responsibility, not hers. It's not her job to make you happy, nor is it your job to make her happy. True happiness comes from within, from living a life aligned with your values, pursuing your passions, and cultivating meaningful connections. This is the essence of Stoic fulfillment, finding joy and purpose in the present moment, regardless of external circumstances. Live a life of purpose and fulfillment, with or without her. This is the ultimate act of self-love, the ultimate expression of Stoic strength. And paradoxically, this self-assuredness, this unwavering focus on your own well-being, often makes you even more attractive, more desirable, more worthy of genuine love and connection. It's the quiet confidence of a man who knows his own worth, a man who doesn't need to chase happiness because he's already creating it. So gentlemen, the next time you find yourself pulling back from a woman, remember these 10 stages. Observe her reactions, understand the psychology behind her behavior, and use this knowledge combined with the wisdom of Stoicism to navigate the situation with grace, confidence, and control. This isn't about manipulation, it's about self-mastery, about understanding human nature, and about building stronger, healthier relationships. Remember, your worth doesn't depend on her validation. It resides within you. Embrace your independence, cultivate your inner strength, and live a life of purpose and fulfillment. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the female psyche. We hope this video has provided valuable insights and practical advice for navigating the complexities of relationships. If you found this helpful, please hit that like button and share it with anyone who might benefit from a little Stoic wisdom. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Spirit for more videos on Stoicism, relationships, and personal growth. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Until then, stay strong, stay stoic, and keep growing.